people out of the Matrix. So,
What?
yes.
Wait a minute.
That is our stated mission, my friend. We are here to pull people out of the Matrix. So I can
out,
I can
man.
walk you through it if you really want to know.
Yeah.
It goes like this. So when I'm not a born entrepreneur, so I'm very, very far from it. And through
Wait a minute. Are there born entrepreneurs?
there are people that will tell you that there are only born entrepreneurs.
Those people are idiots.
Yeah, I would agree. No, they're not. There's some amazing people that say that, but I just think that they're very, very catastrophically wrong about this.
Yeah, people love to say shit like that.
To me, it's like saying you're a born mixed martial artist. Now, there might be people that have certain athletic gifts that make it, they get early wins, and there's just things that click into place for them
Right.
In a way that it doesn't for other people. But if you get a grinder, somebody that's really willing to put in the work, then you can get somebody who becomes absolutely extraordinary. So that certainly has been my life. So I grew up being taught to be a good employee, keep my head down, do as little work as possible, and avoid punishment at all costs. That was my life. That's what my parents taught me, to be a good employee. And obviously that didn't sit well with me. I wanted to do something more. I had pretty big ambition. I go to film school and I do very well in film school until my final film. And then I fall flat on my face, embarrass myself, and realize I'm not a talented filmmaker. And in that,
What made you notice that you weren't, and why did you think you couldn't get better?
So great question. So when I started film school, I believed that you either were talented or you weren't, right? There's just some things. You either can sing or you can't. You either can draw or you can't. When it comes to art, which I saw film as art, you're either good or you're not. And so that was how I thought of it. Now, I thought you could get better at the technical side. So I was going to film school to learn the technical aspects, but I was banking on the fact that I was inherently talented. So I go, and my first year and a half went very well, and I was crushing it, certainly by my own estimation, doing very well, getting the attention of my classmates, and then only 4 people out of the entire school for your year get to make a senior thesis film, and I was chosen as one of the 4. So it was like, yeah, man, I have it. And there were 2 filmmakers that were really big for me. One was John Woo. Do you remember John Woo?
Sure.
He was
Action
red
movies.
hot.
Great
yeah,
movies.
like the 80s and 90s. Just
Yeah, a lot of
smoking
pow, pow,
hot.
pow, pow.
Yeah.
A lot of shoot 'em ups.
A lot. And I loved him. And he was famous for, he would roll up on set. He wouldn't think about it ahead of time. He just put the camera wherever felt right. And his movies were mind-blowing. People always referred to it as his violence is like a ballet. It's that well orchestrated, that beautiful, that interesting. And so I thought, okay, well, if I'm naturally talented, then I should be like that. And then there was Hitchcock, who was sort of the plotter. He would spend all of his time like pre-planning the film. Every shot was so orchestrated ahead of time. He said, I get bored on set. And I thought, God, man, like he doesn't sound like natural talent to me. So I'm over here, I want to be John Woo. I show up on set acting like I'm John Woo. I don't pre-plan anything. I put the camera where it feels right and just publicly embarrass myself as I turn this film into a piece of shit. And at that point, I thought I was, about to graduate, get the 3-picture deal. Everything is going to be set. This is going to be amazing. And there I am, crash and burn. Now the other students are circling me like vultures because, that's the film industry, man. Like it is a zero-sum game, or at least it was back then. That's how people saw it. Because it wasn't like today where you could edit on your fucking, he's editing like right now. Like that didn't exist. Right. So it was, you had to get access to real resources. So when I realized, oh my God, I don't have a thesis project to show people to get an agent or whatever, it's done. I'm not a talented filmmaker. And so I was so desperate in that I needed something that would free me from feeling like a permanent failure. And that thing that I had was the notion of Alfred Hitchcock. And even though it wasn't sexy, it gave me a window into maybe there's another way. Maybe there is another way that somebody can be an artist, and they just have to learn it. Like think about if somebody draws, right? Some people can rotate an object in their mind. If you've seen on IQ tests, they make you do that. I can't do that. I literally can't rotate an object in my mind. I don't even understand people that can do it. So I thought, well, maybe you could become a great artist just by memorizing every conceivable pose, like a chess player. The great chess grandmasters are the ones that have memorized so many different moves and combinations that it becomes somewhat intuitive for them. So I thought, okay, that's going to have to be my path. It gave me an escape route. And then going down that path of saying, I just have to learn this stuff. I'm not naturally talented, but I have to learn. Unfortunately, Carol Dweck had not written her book Mindset at that point. So I didn't have the words growth mindset, fixed mindset, but I began began to transition out. So a fixed mindset is what I had, which you believe your talent and intelligence are fixed traits. They can't be changed. Somebody with a growth mindset realizes that your talent and intelligence are malleable, that you can develop them through disciplined practice. So I began to adopt sort of the beginnings of that mindset, realizing that I'm just a grinder. I have to work and I have to get better. So I start teaching film school, and in teaching film school, the best way to learn something is to teach it. So now I'm getting better as a filmmaker just by teaching it to these guys, helping them develop their scripts, helping them shoot their films. And then at that time, these two very successful entrepreneurs came into my class, and there were two things as a kid I promised myself growing up in a morbidly obese family, that one day I would be rich and one day I would have six-pack abs. And so here were these, they were yoked. These two yoked bodybuilder guys that were successful entrepreneurs. And they said, why don't you come work for us and be a copywriter? And it's a startup company. You can have any role in the company you want, but you just have to become the right person for that job. And then you can get rich and you can go back and control the art. You can make movies your way. So I was like, oh my God, like this is too good to be true. I have to go do this. So I joined them as a copywriter as they were starting this fledgling technology company. And just to keep this from getting impossibly long, for about 8.5 years, I just chased money. I was just trying to get rich to go back and make movies my way.
Right.
But in that, they were very growth minded. I began to really develop a growth mindset to believe that I could do anything I set my mind to without limitation. I just had to understand that there was a gap in skill set between where I was and where I wanted to get. And I had to be willing to put in the work to get that skill, right? So I trained exactly one time with a man, you must know him, Firas Zahabi.
Sure.
All right. So Firas, by the way, I feel a moral obligation to help him become famous because he is one of the most intriguing minds I've ever come across in my life.
Yeah, we were supposed to do a podcast last. There was a UFC in Anaheim, but his fighter got canceled. The fight got canceled, and so he wound up not coming on. I'm a big fan of his, though.
That
person,
heartbreaking.
As a fighter, trainer, as well as a mixed martial artist, very talented guy.
Very. And in getting to roll with him in my single moment as a grappler, it was...
Did you ever grapple before?
No, never.
So you just rolled with him the first time?
Yeah.
But he's a black belt.
Yeah, and that's why it was the best thing ever. So he knew how to not let me get injured. He knew how to move in just the right way, how to show me things. Mm-hmm. He's so kind and compassionate and patient. I can't imagine like a better intro to grappling. It was unbelievable. And what it showed me that even just in like the hour that he and I grappled, I went from, dude, I'm so lost, even spatially. I can't tell where I am. Like once you start moving me, I just get lost. And then an hour later, he gave me like these two basic moves to learn how to execute. And by the end, I could do it. And it was like the exact reminder of what a growth mindset is and how even something that foreign to me with a good teacher, practice, you can get good. I mean, look, it's going to take years and years and years to become even competent in jiu-jitsu, let alone be able to participate at a high level. But it was a great micro reminder of just how powerfully humans can learn.